Dawson was knocked down by Tomas Adamek, knocked down by Glenn Johnson, knocked down by a couple of now forgotten opponents relatively early in his career. That has been a small Achilles heel in his rise to the top of the light heavyweight division. Dawson working his jab early. Now Tarver begins to unleash his. Two southpaws in the ring against each other in the light heavyweight division. 20 years ago, Emmanuel, you almost never saw this. Now we are seeing it more and more and more often, partially because of fighters like Dawson, who is a natural right-hander and has fought in the southpaw stance ever since he walked into a gym.
Yeah, because he was saying that was what his dad was boxing in the southpaw stance, so he picked up on that. Majority of the southpaws that I've been involved with are really right-handed, much like Marvin Hagler was. So many other fighters I work with, they're really, and Mike Mora. And they just feel comfortable in that position, and if they are the star in the gym, other kids that come in pick up on it and want to be just like them.
And because of famous fighters like Moorer, like De La Hoya, like Miguel Cotto and others, it's becoming a much more popular thing to do, and there may come a time 40 years from now when the overwhelming majority of the fighters in the sport are southpaws.
I can easily see that happen.
And how about the fact that it may logically make more sense? You throw about 75% of your punches with your lead hand. Why not make that your stronger hand?
You're correct. You know, and looking at, even though both of these guys weighed in virtually about the same, and according to the statistics when they measured in, it was identical in height. It just seems like it's Dawson being younger seems to be a little bit more thicker, a little bit more stronger looking, even though that's not the case, but he looks that way to me.
Well, it looked as though Tarver had to make a sacrifice of some sort to make weight. And of course, when he made the Rocky Balboa move, Tarver, while on the set, rose as high as 233 pounds, putting himself in the ironic position of having to acknowledge after the loss to Hopkins that coming back down in weight to the light heavyweight area robbed him of all his physicality. And it was ironic because, of course, he was the one who had derided Roy Jones for making exactly that claim about Jones's performances against him when Jones had gone up to heavyweight to fight John Ruiz.
Well, he's been fighting at the 175 long enough now, but that cannot be an excuse now. He's adjusted to the weight.
You know, so far Tarver is moving his hands more than he did in the first fight, at least early on. But those hands look pretty slow.
But the moving his hands more is exactly the adjustment he made in winning the rematch, for instance, against Glenn Johnson.
The one thing that was interesting, that even though Dawson is really determined to really win impressively, said this time he has a lot of respect for Tarver's left hand.
Pretty good first round. More sustained combat in this first round than was the case through most of their first fight, where they fought in sporadic skirmishes. What hasn't happened yet is trading. When these two guys fight, a pattern seems to develop where one man mounts an offense and the other waits, and then they take turns.
He got nothing, but I want you to be careful. I want that jab always pumping. All right? Keep pumping and moving your head and keep that defense up. All right? Keep stepping in with the jab. Bend your legs a little bit. All right? Slipping and slide like we're doing. The jab is the key. He got nothing. He got nothing. Speed and your combinations. That's all we can do.
Nope. Go to jab with more confidence. Okay? Step in with it.
Okay. I want to make sure your left hand up here because you're trying to hit with the hook. You ain't got but one hand, T. You like to tag hand. Don't back up. You got to finish with the hook every time when you throw the right hand. Okay, guys.
When he starts his flurry, drop that hook on him. He's got to look. He's got his left hand right here.
Let's
so
take
Zeus with the hook around.
Hey, guys, you got your mouthpiece?
Send us out mouthpiece. Send us out mouthpiece.
Well, I called it a pretty good first round, but maybe I was talking too much to get it right. CompuBox couldn't disagree more, as they saw Dawson landing 8 out of 50 and Tarver landing 5 out of 50. In other words, a relatively cautious, inactive first round in which neither fighter got a lot done.
Well, but compared to expectations, Jim, maybe it exceeded your expectations.
No, I think I was just talking too much. But that happens.
Both corners are telling their fighters, be busy with more jabs. It's very interesting. And they're fighting almost like a mirror image of each other the way they're fighting now. Only Dawson seems to be a little bit stronger and more powerful with his punches. But they're fighting exactly the same speed, the same rhythm. In the first fight, Tarver spent more time on defense right about this. He started covering up more in a more of a defensive mode. He's not doing that tonight.
When Tarver knocked Roy Jones out in their second fight, he did it by stepping forward and countering a Roy Jones right hand. He has not tried to counter anything Dawson's throwing.
No, both guys are very defensive. They don't really see a really good opportunity to throw punches. They're reluctant to full power punch because it may get caught with something. But Tarver does have a good left hand. He shoots it, and he turns his entire body through when he shoots his left hand. He stretches all the way out.
Body shots by Dawson. Tarver holding his guard up and blocking the upstairs stuff. Now Dawson gets a jab between Tarver's gloves. Tarver lands a right hand himself.
Dawson's got his jab on track this round.
True, but Tarver's blocking a fair number of them.
Yeah, but he's pumping enough that he's landed 3 or 4 solid back.
And Dawson got in a good left and right to the body there.
Dawson is out working him, but I don't see any really clear punches landing that much, really by neither one, just for the most part. But now Tarver's going back to the same style he fought before, but he's moving forward this time, where before he was standing in one spot and backing up. So he's moving forward and trying to force himself into Dawson so he can get a good shot with that left hand.
Dawson got one left hand through in all of that flurry. Tarver remains mostly in a defensive posture whenever Dawson shows offensive intent.
But he's making Dawson throw a lot of punches as he's moving forward on him. And really, as you said, only one left hand came out of that whole combination, probably about 20 punches altogether.
But still, Dawson has been busy enough in this round to quadruple his number of connected punches.
Dawson did land a good right hook on the inside earlier. Meanwhile, Tarver looks like he's getting a little closer with that right hand. With, excuse me, the left hand.
For the bell, guys.
Bell! Bird warns Dawson for hitting after the bell, appropriately so. Monday, June 15, it's the premiere of the new HBO series Joe Buck Live. Join the Emmy Award-winning broadcaster as he talks live with some of the biggest names in sports. And on Wednesday, July 15, the night after the Baseball All-Star Game, it's the premiere of the HBO sports documentary, Ted Williams, a look at the life of the splendid Splinter, baseball great and American icon.
Come on.
Now, when he starts punching now, let your hands go.
All right.
Okay?
You got to let your hands go, T. Don't do the defensive thing, okay?
When you move when you can't hit.
Very good. Good pressure, but now we got to put the punches with it.
Take a deep breath.
Down, mouthpiece. Okay, let's go.
Well, I said quadruple. That was a bit extravagant, but Dawson, who landed 8 out of 50 in the first round, was 20 out of 77 in round number 2. And that reduced Tarver's punch output from 50 to 39, and he landed only 7. So round 2 clearly belonged to Bad Chad Dawson, the more active, more aggressive fighter.
I would say busier fighter, but Tarver is really putting a lot more pressure on him now. And seemingly, just look at his facial expression in the corner, his confidence is building up. Meaning Tarver.
Tarver's confidence is growing, you think?
I think so. I look at that. I could see in the corner like his confidence is growing.
Well, that's not going to help his confidence to get ripped by a 1-2 like that.
Well, Dawson is just outworking him. He's playing a numbers game. Sooner or later, he's going to have to start landing shots.
You know, in the rematch with Eric Harding, and that was a much younger Antonio Tarver. But Harding had beaten Tarver in their first fight and looked early like he'd once again had Tarver's number until Tarver turned the fight around with one punch. He's a really big and underrated puncher with the left hand. And he's shooting a variety of lefts at Dawson, looping lefts, short lefts on the inside. It's a dangerous shot.
Well, if he still has the pop to do damage, it's conceivable that Dawson has the chin to cooperate. But that's a pretty big shot from Tarver, and Dawson handled it, stepped back once, and went forward again.
And this is what was a pattern of the first fight. When one guy's doing the punching, the other guy's on defense, just walking in, and then the other one will take turns, and they reverse roles again.
Tarver suddenly switches to a conventional stance. Dawson predicted that Tarver would do that at times during the fight.
Pick him up, Chad. Pick him up.
Now Tarver back in his normal southpaw stance.
Dawson looks so strong, though. I'm still just amazed at the strength that he shows. And this round is totally reverse of the last round. The same round, but reverse characters. A round that I think Tarver's won just about simply outworking Dawson. Just as it was the other way around, the other way, last round.
Certainly after throwing only 39 punches in the second round, Tarver was determined to do more with his hands here in round 3.
As he was in the third round of their first fight.
Maybe his best round in the fight.
All right, free up your hands. Free up your hands. There you go.
Antonio Tarver's gotten married within the past couple of weeks. There's the wife, Denise Tarver. She's one of the group of 16 people who came into the meeting with Antonio yesterday, and she can come back anytime.
Okay, don't look for the big one. If he's giving you something, just keep touching until you find the opening. Okay? Let's go, baby. Let's get back putting the pressure on him. Don't let him walk to you like that. Okay, hard jabs.
Move your feet, you can't touch him.
Familiar figure of Buddy McGirt
If she's walking straight in, don't grab him.
in the corner, and you can see that.
There's our mouthpiece.
Well, I didn't catch